What the hell? That's how they edit it.
To create the drama. Except the odds, Joe, Master Lee.
And Lulu.
And we are big fans of America's Got Talent, as you can tell from this channel here. We've been caught in the throes of AGT champions.
That's right.
And I'll tell you, this particular season has been pretty dramatic, really fun to watch. But I don't think what people realize is a lot of that drama is fake.
It's part of the show.
It's all part of the show. It's all stuff that is done behind the scenes with the producers, the cameras, the editing, everything. So what I thought we'd do is share with y'all what we know about some of these tricks that they're doing to try to amp up a lot of that drama. And it's time for y'all to know the truth of what happens behind the scenes.
Be aware, truth hurts.
All right, so just to be clear, we did go see America's Got Talent live. So we actually saw a number of the scenes happen. And so we know when we see it on TV, it's like, whoa, that's not exactly how it happened. And second, we also got to know a couple of people who went to see the show live, and they added additional elements to this. So basically what I'm sharing with you is all the things that we know for sure happened. This isn't about speculation. Now, mind you, we're still fans of the show, so we actually
I know, like what we were trying to ruin, we're not trying to ruin
No, yeah, exactly.
the show.
We're not trying to ruin the show. We just want to let you know how the emotion can be manipulated. Whether or not this actually is affecting how voting is done, other things that are happening, we'll leave that up for other people to speculate and dig deep into.
That's entertainment.
Exactly.
Right?
This is entertainment. And I think really at the end of the day, what's important is that the talent is real, right? That's not being fake. No one's going up there seeing something on a karaoke machine with a soundtrack playing and a voiceover happening.
Let's see.
Real talent that's happening up there, right? Here it is, right? Our list of things that aren't real. All right, so first off, right? The audience reaction is not real.
Not 100%.
Yeah, maybe it's exaggeration. I'm trying to create drama here too.
You're drunk. Oh my God, your evil laugh.
Oh, that's how the producers laugh when they get away with stuff. So here's the thing, right? The audience is coached to act a certain way. In other words, the emotion is amped up because when the show starts, they have these people that come out and these people warm up the crowd and they're saying, when you are watching something you like, make sure you really show them how much you like it, and you gotta really exaggerate the emotion. And between every act, they come out to remind you again. And not only they remind you again, they do a bunch of stuff that gets you really excited, like giving out free stuff, like, hey, free dinner.
Like we're out here telling you guys what you're gonna be seeing, what you're gonna be doing, but I am also the guy that's gonna be giving away all of the free stuff to our loud and rowdy audience members.
And the minute people are at that peak of excitement, they're like, all right, start their cameras, let's roll it. And so that emotion carries through to what you see on TV.
I'm gonna come up there and hook people up with some free stuff. Who in the balcony wants some stuff? So, we're gonna come back from commercial break. We'll leave you guys in. When John, our stage manager, said we're coming back in 10, 9, 8, we'll get applause going. We'll come back with the music. Terry will welcome us back and introduce the next act. We're going to do 3 of these, okay?
So it is real people wanting to act that way, but what you don't see is all the caffeine they feed into your IV right before to get you amped up.
Oh God, that is so true. But I like because they're using real people screaming, real people clapping.
Yeah, real people
Unlike
have
other
to be.
show, they use soundtrack.
Now, speaking about the crowd reaction, whether it's real or not, even though when we were there, we did get to see people really amped up. Sometimes when they edit stuff on TV, the crowd reaction isn't actually the right reaction. In other words, what they'll do is splice in a reaction from a different part of the performance to where they wanted.
Into like editing.
Yeah, it's editing, right? And this is the kind of thing that actually happened long before America's Got Talent. I had a friend who used to work at MTV, and he worked his way up to be a producer at MTV. And he would say, they do that type of editing all the time. It's basically par for the course. And it's one of those things where, as an example, right, Lulu? Now give me a face like, what the hell?
What the hell?
And what I'm gonna do now is say something and I'm gonna intersplice what the hell in there. As an example, Lulu, your pits smell bad.
What the hell? That's how they edit it.
To create the drama. Because you know your pitch smell, you don't care. It's trying to create this amp perception of emotions that are happening. The other thing that I heard about from one of our friends who went to the show was that they sometimes cut the crowd reactions too to try to even it out and keep the show on track. Like for instance, right, as we were watching all these different performances today, there were definitely some standouts. Like for instance, V Unbeatable was really great this season. But what our friend was telling us was that if you were there at the show watching them perform, the crowd was bonkers, like way louder, way more enthusiastic for them than he's ever seen. To the point where they would clap so long and loud that the judges and everyone was trying to calm them down. Terry Crews was trying to get the show going and they just wouldn't stop, right? And that's the one thing you don't see. Like the crowd in the audience was really, really into them. And if you watch it on TV, it doesn't quite come across that way.
Cheating.
In this case, I don't know if they're trying to cheat the scenario to even it out and normalize the reaction. I think it might be more to do with time. There's just not enough time in a TV show because, you know, an hour show, they literally have about 15 minutes, 25% of the time is dedicated towards ads. The other thing about crowd reactions too is that some people who have watched the show a lot on TV have said they had reused some of the crowd reactions.
Oh,
so in other words, as they're cutting to
like
the audience here,
footage?
they would use the same footage from one act to another one as a crowd going like, oh, that's awesome.
Right.
Because they didn't get enough footage. So that's a little bit tricksy, right? A little bit questionable. To me, it's not that big of a deal because it doesn't take away from the act itself, but reusing footage is something that people have mentioned more than once. So keep an eye out for that.
The honesty.
We like to think with live TV, because you know they broadcast this as live. Yeah, exactly. Like this is the live crowd reaction, right? All right, now we're going to get to an area here that I do feel is a little bit more controversial and something that I'm not comfortable with because of how they have gone through and changed the story for television. So for instance, when Marcelito was on performing, you saw him perform, right? He was the first act and the judges were debating on whether or not to give him the golden buzzer. Howie had the ability to do it. He says, no, you know, I think I'm gonna save it. Well, what you don't realize is that Marcelito actually did not perform first on the show. What ended up happening with this is they changed the story because Buki Storm performed before Marcelito and they got the golden buzzer because Simon went and hit that buzzer.
What?
So Howie couldn't give the golden buzzer to Marcelito because it was already gone. So guess what? That dialogue that the judges were having, like, should I give him the golden buzzer?
So
that was filmed afterwards. That was fake.
What the hell?
If you want the full story of what happened with Marcelito and why he didn't get the golden buzzer, make sure you check out this other video I made where I go into full detail of what happened. It's really riveting. And they do this for all sorts of things in terms of like how they film. Like for instance, the introductions are filmed out of order too. Sometimes you'll notice where Terry Crews is up in the balcony and he's talking among the audience. He can't get up there that fast between takes. So they'll film those sequences early on and they'll tell you, all right, imagine this is for this performer, act excited for them, even though the person isn't coming up next. So like those things happen and we know it happens, but when it gets taken to the point where they're rewriting the story, a little bit, I don't know about that. And they take it further than that too. So this has happened twice now from what I understand from just this season and last season, right? Our friend who had gone to the show, he said that when Tyler, Butler, Figaro performed, they asked him to perform again because the second time they needed better footage. They didn't get the footage the first time.
What?
Yes. So you don't see that. And it happened again this season with Connie Talbot as well.
What the hell?
They made her come back out to perform again.
What happened to the first performance?
Who knows? Camera guy fell asleep, ran out of batteries. But when they determined like we need to do it again, you don't see that on TV. You never actually know that happened.
That is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, that is some absolutely crazy stuff. And this is what I don't get. I don't know if this is like faking what you see on TV, but I feel like it is kind of faking what is being told to the audience there versus what we understand is happening. So If you've been following this year's America's Got Talent champion, they use super fans. It's a group of people at the show, but kept separate. All right. And they have the ability to vote and they represent all 50 states, a real diverse crowd. No one knows who they are. No one really knows how many people they are. But if you're actually at the show, they tell you that you can vote as well via text message, SMS. Why is the audience voting? Only the super fans, which is a whole other group, get to determine who goes on. What is it affecting? Is it just to get the audience pumped up as if they had a say in what's going on?
Right.
Or is something else going on? Like, it's really confusing. Like, why tell one group of people something? Why not tell that to everyone, us watching from home, that's happening? It starts to feel like, look, maybe there isn't vote manipulation, but when you aren't honest with something going on with the way the voting works, of course it's going to cause controversy. Of course it's going to cause rumors and gossip. And of course it's going to make people question if the results are real. That's when
I think, what the hell?
I'll leave it up to you. Do you think the show is rigged? Or is this simply just a matter of playing with our emotions to get us excited about what's going on? And let's admit, we are excited. We get caught up in it all the time. Even when we know this is happening, we still get excited. We love following what's going on. But I can understand when people start to ask questions of something didn't happen to their favorite performer, whether it's Marcelito or something happened with Angelina because Simon doesn't like her. The Unbeatable didn't win last season because of vote manipulation. I can see why people feel like these shows are rigged because there's just enough happening here that is in a gray area that makes you go, well, if they're willing to take it this far, maybe they're willing to take it a little bit further and do truly unethical things. Don't know. Everything I share with you so far, we know happens. Anything that goes beyond that is speculation.
We need to disguise, go inside.
Okay, dress up like a poodle and go become one of the dogs in the dog jack and sneak around backstage and see what you can find out later. Let me know how you